They say love makes you do crazy things. But what no one tells you is that love can drag your entire family into madness and leave you questioning everything you thought was real. I never imagined the girl who once stalked my Instagram and blew up my boyfriend's phone at 2 a.m. would end up seated at our dinner table, flirting with my dad. Yeah. You read that right. Let me take you back. I was 21, juggling midterms, a part-time job, and my 2-year relationship with Ethan. We weren't perfect, what couple is? But we had something good. Or so I thought. The biggest issue in our relationship wasn't us, it was his ex-girlfriend, Miranda. Miranda was chaos wrapped in mascara and entitlement. She was obsessed with Ethan, constantly texting him, pretending to be in some emergency, showing up crying outside his classes. He'd tell me she was crazy, that he had zero feelings for her. And like an idiot, I believed him. Until the night I found messages from a number I didn't recognize. Flirty, familiar, unhinged. I called it. She answered. Miss me, Ethan, she giggled through the phone. I was done. I broke up with him on the spot, blocked them both, and tried to move on with my life. I thought the chapter was closed. 6 months later, my mom invited me over for dinner. She sounded excited, said my dad had a new woman in his life. My parents had been separated for a while, but they were still friendly, so I figured this was something worth supporting. I arrived at the house with a bottle of wine and some cautious optimism. I was expecting an elegant, age-appropriate woman who maybe worked in finance or taught yoga. But then I saw her. Miranda. Sitting at the table. Laughing at my dad's jokes. Wearing a red bodycon dress that looked 2 sizes too tight. She even had the nerve to twirl her hair like some rom-com villain. I froze. My mom looked confused. My dad beamed. And Miranda? She smirked like the devil had just cashed in a soul. Sweetie, my dad said proudly, this is Miranda. We met at a fundraiser last month. She's incredible. I wanted to vomit. Miranda leaned forward, extended her hand like she didn't know exactly who I was. It's so nice to finally meet you. I stared at her, stunned. We've met, I said, sitting down. My voice was tight. My hands trembled under the table. Dinner was a surreal experience. Miranda asked where I went to school. Complimented my shoes. Touched my dad's arm every 5 seconds. My mom kept glancing between us, sensing tension but clearly confused. When dinner ended, I pulled Miranda into the hallway. What the hell are you doing? I hissed. She shrugged. What, I'm not allowed to date someone who makes me happy. He's my dad, Miranda. Yeah, she said with that smug little grin. And you're not dating Ethan anymore, so I don't see the problem. I swear I saw red. I told my dad everything, how she stalked Ethan, how she harassed me, how she inserted herself into our lives like a parasite, but he wouldn't listen. She told me you were jealous, he said. That you tried to sabotage us because you're still bitter about Ethan. Bitter? I nearly screamed. Bitter doesn't begin to cover it. I was watching the woman who wrecked my last relationship crawl into the heart of my family, and my dad was defending her. A week later, she moved into his house. That's when the nightmare really began. She posted selfies in my childhood bedroom. Wore my mom's robe. Captioned photos with hashtag #dadasgirl and hashtag family goals. One day, a mutual friend sent me a post of her wearing my mom's old engagement ring. The caption? When he knows, he knows. I stopped going to family dinners. Stopped replying to texts. But Miranda wasn't done. She messaged me constantly, I really want us to be close, she wrote. We have so much in common. Yeah, like trauma. The final straw came when my mom called me sobbing. She'd gone to the house to grab some boxes and found all her wedding photos had been thrown in the trash. She said they were clutter, my mom whispered. Clutter. I lost it. I showed up to the house unannounced. My dad looked thrilled. I knew you'd come around, he smiled. I walked right past him and found Miranda lounging on the couch in my mom's robe, sipping wine from the ceramic mug I made in kindergarten. I walked over, snatched it from her hand, and smashed it against the fireplace. This ends now, I said. Miranda jumped up. You're insane. No, I said, I'm just done watching you dismantle my family. My dad stepped between us. She's not what you think. She's worse, I spat. And I left. For the first time in months, I felt like I had taken back control. But the war wasn't over. Not even close. You say when your world starts falling apart, it doesn't crumble slowly, it explodes in one violent, soul-crushing second. And for me, that second came when I walked into my kitchen, still clutching the torn photo of my dad and Lexi, and found my mother sitting on the floor. Her back was against the cabinets. She wasn't crying. She wasn't speaking. She was just staring. Mom, I whispered, kneeling beside her. She blinked slowly, like she was trying to wake up from a nightmare. Please say something. She looked at me, eyes hollow, face pale. She was like family, she said flatly. Lexi, she used to call me Mom too. I helped her with her college essays. I drove her to her first job interview. I held her when she cried about some guy who ghosted her after 2 dates. Her voice cracked, and she laughed bitterly. And now she's with your father. There were no words that could soothe that pain, so I didn't try. I just stayed by her side, our silence screaming louder than anything we could say. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, my brain spiraling in circles. My father hadn't returned any of my calls. His phone went straight to voicemail. And Lexi? She had the audacity to post a photo on her Instagram story. I'm wearing his hoodie. My dad's hoodie. I almost threw my phone across the room. Instead, I got up, opened my laptop, and started writing everything down. All the timelines. Every moment that seemed suspicious. Every look Lexi gave me that now made my skin crawl. Every joke she made about how my dad was hot for an older guy. I had ignored it all. Because she was my boyfriend's ex, not my father's future girlfriend. And now I was connecting dots that made me sick. In the morning, I did something impulsive. I called Jason. My boyfriend. Or rather, ex-boyfriend, depending on how this next conversation went. He picked up after 3 rings. Hey, he said cautiously. Didn't expect to hear from you. Did you know? I asked, skipping the small talk entirely. A pause. Know what? That Lexi and my dad are involved. Another pause. Then, what the hell are you talking about? I almost laughed. But it came out as a dry choke instead. There are pictures, Jason. In bed. Together. In my house. Jason cursed under his breath. No. No, 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 Lexi's insane, but she wouldn't. He trailed off, but I could hear the dawning horror in his voice. Oh my God. Last week, she told me she was staying at a friend's place. She said she was tired of couch surfing. That her new man was going to take care of her. New man? I spat. She meant my father. Jason was silent for a long time. Then he muttered, that's messed up. Even for her. I didn't reply. I'm coming over, he said suddenly. We need to talk. And I need to apologize. Apologize for what? For defending her. For ever dating her. For not seeing how twisted she really was. When Jason arrived that afternoon, I could tell he hadn't slept either. His eyes were bloodshot. His hair was a mess. But he looked genuinely shaken. We sat on the porch, watching my mom water her plants in silence. She hadn't said much since yesterday, just moved like she was underwater, trying to function in a world that suddenly made no sense. I need to show you something, Jason said, pulling out his phone. Lexi sent this to me 3 days ago. I thought it was a prank, but now. He showed me a screenshot of a text conversation. Lexi had written, you always said I was too much for you. Maybe you're right. But I finally found someone who can handle me. Someone older. Someone with money. I stared at the message, bile rising in my throat. She's using him. Jason nodded grimly. She always used people. But I never thought she'd stoop this low. We sat in silence for a moment, until I asked, did you ever cheat on me with her? Jason looked horrified. What? No. God, no. I hated her by the time we met. I thought she was out of my life. I believed him. And I hated that I did. Because now I didn't know what to believe anymore. That night, my dad finally called back. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail, hey sweetheart. I know you're upset. But can we talk? Lexi and it just happened. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Please call me. I deleted it. Then, the next day, he showed up at our house. My mom opened the door and stared at him like he was a ghost. He had the nerve to smile. Can we come in? We. Lexi stepped out from behind him, wearing sunglasses, a smug expression, and my mother's scarf. The one she'd gotten in Paris. I'll call the police, my mom said calmly. You don't have to, he began, but she slammed the door shut in his face. We locked it. Deadbolt and all. Then my mom turned to me. They think they've won, she said softly. But they haven't seen what we're capable of yet. And for the first time in days, I saw a spark return to her eyes. You don't realize how fast betrayal hardens you until the softness in your heart feels like a memory. The day Lexi showed up at our house wearing my mom's scarf, smirking like she owned the place, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared through the window and let the rage simmer. Because I had a plan. 2 nights later, I sat with my mom at the kitchen table, our fortress now. She looked better. Still fragile, but sharper around the edges. She was sewing buttons onto a blouse like it was the most normal thing in the world, but I knew what she was really doing, keeping her hands busy so her heart wouldn't shatter again. I want to do something, I said finally. Her needle paused mid-thread. What do you mean? I want to expose them. Lexi. Dad. All of it. She set the needle down gently. You don't have to go to war for me. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. She met my eyes. And she nodded. So that night, I called Jason. I need your help. He didn't hesitate. Tell me what to do. I'd spent hours combing through Lexi's socials, and I noticed something. She had a pattern, like every narcissist does. She couldn't resist flaunting her wins. Expensive dinners. Cryptic captions. Soft launching her latest victims without ever tagging them. But this time, she slipped. In one video, just a 6-second boomerang of her clinking glasses, there was a reflection. A blurred figure in a tailored gray suit. My dad's suit. One he wore to my high school graduation. The location tag? A luxury restaurant 2 towns over. We went there. Jason and I dressed like we were going to prom, because if I was walking into a war zone, I was going in armored. We booked a table, sat near the back, and waited. And then they walked in. Lexi looked ridiculous. She was wearing stilettos and a gold dress like she was about to accept an award. My dad, on the other hand, looked exhausted. He had bags under his eyes, and the forced smile didn't reach them. They didn't see us. But I saw enough. I took photos. Quiet, blurry shots, nothing that screamed stalker, just enough to prove they were still together, still parading their affair like a prize. Then I sent them to my mom. Her reply came instantly, "You have your father's audacity. I'm proud of you." Jason turned to me after dinner. "You know this won't make them feel guilt, right?" "I'm not trying to make them feel guilty. I want people to see them for who they really are. Because this wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. This was about justice, about truth." So we crafted the post. A carousel. Photo 1, Lexi and me at a party, smiling like sisters. Photo 2, my dad holding me on his shoulders as a kid. Photo 3, a screenshot of Lexi in his hoodie. Finally, the blurry photo from the restaurant. The caption? "My ex-boyfriend's unstable ex didn't just come back to ruin my life, she took my father, my home, and my peace. Here's to rebuilding from betrayal." I hit post. The reaction was immediate. Comments poured in, friends, classmates, coworkers. People knew. And they had opinions. Some were supportive, "This is disgusting. I'm so sorry. Your dad is a grown man and still lost in high school level drama." Others weren't. "Are you sure this isn't just bitterness? He's a consenting adult. Let people live." But the thing is, I wasn't looking for validation. I just wanted the silence broken. Lexi didn't respond publicly. But the next morning, I got a message request. From her. Wow. Airing family drama for clout? Classy. I didn't reply. Because I was busy helping my mom change the locks. Yes, she finally filed for divorce. She found a lawyer who'd seen it all and had no patience for men in midlife crises chasing college girls. And me? I was discovering a strength I didn't know I had. But the universe wasn't done throwing curveballs. Because one night, I came home to find my dad sitting on the porch. Alone. He looked up at me, eyes bloodshot. "Can we talk?" I didn't say anything. Just crossed my arms. He rubbed his face. She left. What? Lexi. She said I was boring. That she didn't sign up for domestic drama. I snorted. I couldn't help it. What did you think she signed up for? A father figure or a sugar daddy? His face crumpled. "I made a mistake," he said quietly. "No," I said. "You made choices." He nodded slowly. "I miss your mother. I miss you." I stared at him. At the man who used to tuck me in at night, who used to make pancakes shaped like animals on Sundays. And I realized that man was gone. Maybe he had been for a long time. "I hope you find peace," I said finally. "But you're not going to find it here." And I walked inside. As I closed the door behind me, I felt something shift. Not pain. Not triumph. Closure. They say when people show you who they are, believe them. But no one ever tells you what to do after. After the betrayal. After the lies. After you're left with a hole where your trust used to be and memories that now feel like poison. My dad tried to come back. Not with flowers or apologies. With silence. With small gestures. Dropping off groceries. Forwarding emails from my childhood dentist. Asking my mom if she needed help fixing the porch railing. She never answered. Neither did I. Because sometimes, forgiveness doesn't come in words, it comes in freedom. And we had earned ours the hard way. Lexi disappeared from town like a bad dream you don't talk about but can't quite forget. Word got around that she tried dating someone else's dad a few towns over. That blew up, too. Apparently, chaos has a shelf life. One day I saw her name trending, on a TikTok video. A story time, the girl who slept with her ex's dad. No names. Just the messy, raw truth. It wasn't mine. Someone else had picked it up and run with it. The comments were brutal. She belongs in a reality show. She did what? I'd haunt her in my sleep if I were that daughter. And for the first time in this entire nightmare, I felt vindicated. Because I didn't have to say anything anymore. The world had eyes now. And it saw her for what she was. I didn't post. I didn't like. I didn't even send it to anyone. I just watched it once, then closed the app. My mom started smiling again. It wasn't sudden. It was gradual. Like spring thawing the edges of a long, brutal winter. She started baking again. She went back to her book club. She got a haircut, shorter, lighter, freer. And one day, she came home and said, I met someone. I didn't flinch. I smiled. Because he wasn't my dad. He wasn't carrying a wrecking ball behind his back. He was kind, quiet, respectful. And he looked at her like she was the sun rising. And me? I was healing, too. Jason and I, after everything, found our way back. Not because we needed to fix the past, but because we saw something worth building again. He was patient. He didn't push. He just stayed. I'm proud of you, he told me one night, holding my hand like it was something sacred. Why? Because you didn't just survive. You rewrote the whole damn story. And I had. I turned pain into purpose. Rage into reflection. Grief into growth. I started writing, journals turned into blog posts turned into essays. Eventually, one of them went viral, the day my ex's ex destroyed my family, and how I rebuilt without them. The emails poured in. From daughters. From wives. From strangers who said, this gave me strength. One even said, I almost forgave him, until I read this. Thank you for reminding me I deserve better. That's when I realized. My story was never about revenge. It was about power. Taking it back. Owning it. Standing tall in the ashes of everything that once tried to burn me down and saying, I'm still here. Months passed. And then one day, I got a letter. No return address. Just my name written in careful script. Inside was a single sheet of paper. You were right. I never deserved you. I hope someday you find it in your heart to forget what I did. If not for me, for yourself. It wasn't signed. But I knew who wrote it. I folded it once. Then again. And dropped it in the recycling bin. Because closure doesn't come from their apologies. It comes when you stop needing them. This wasn't a happy ending. It was a real one. My dad? He still floats on the edges of our lives. A birthday card here. A family photo he likes on Facebook there. But he's no longer the center. He's no longer the sun we orbit around. We became our own light. I moved into a little apartment downtown. 2 bedrooms. Hardwood floors. A coffee shop downstairs that knows my order. I painted one wall teal, just because. I filled it with books, plants, and peace. And every morning, I look in the mirror and whisper. You survived hell. Now build your heaven.